Glad to have you join us on the News at 10 on NTA News 24, live from Abuja. I am Vivian Ezadifi. Let's begin with the headlines. Rivers State Electoral Body receives local government election results from most councils. Federal government launches Women Agro-Value Expansion Initiative to expand scope of women farmers in agro-value chain.
Nigeria is blessed with abundant land and natural resources, and we must utilize these blessings.
Plus, Nigeria and Singapore strengthen bilateral ties for sustainable development. We now take you to Rivers State, where election results across the 23 local government areas of Rivers State are trickling in. So far, the state electoral body is set to have received LG election result from 12 local government areas, 11 local governments still being expected. Some electorates describe the exercise as credible so far.
From the turnout and from the conduct of all who are involved, those voting and those who are conducting the elections, I believe at the end of the day we should have something that we are proud of.
We have to thank Mr. President for taking the bold step to make sure that this election is conducted. First of all, if election is not conducted, you know that Supreme Court has said there's nothing like caretaker committees in local government, and if there are no elected people, it means that funds will not come from the federation account.
My thought is that it's free election, there is no problem.
This election is setting the foundation for the proper return of democracy to Rivers State.
The elections for local government chairmen and councillors was credible, free, fair and transparent. I must commend RISEC for a job well done. The materials arrived on time, the voting was orderly, people queued up. In fact, there's massive turnout.
The people now are prepared to transmit into the proper democratic process.
Now let's get some update from our correspondent, Kingsley Amajiri in Port Harcourt. Kingsley, how many local government results can you confirm so far, and has anyone come in this morning?
Okay, Vivian, I'll authoritatively inform you that I spoke with a senior official of the RISEC here this morning. What he told me that a substantial number of these results have come in from the various local government area, but he was not willing to disclose the exact number. While we also stood here waiting for this communication, I also saw some other electoral officials coming in with the results of the election. The security agencies, heads of commands are also have arrived at this location for the announcement of the result. But a senior official, like I told you, who spoke with me this morning, say they are definitely going to announce the results today. He, as I earlier also established, did not want to disclose the exact number of local government areas that have come in, but for sure he told me that the results will be announced today.
From what you said, how are the electorates reacting to this result so far? The results that came in, how are they reacting to it?
Excitement. People want to get to know exactly how the figures will play out. The electorate are expectant to see what will come out of the process, even though the contest was not that keen, given the number of persons that participated in terms of candidates that vied for these positions across the 23 local government area. The electorates want to see a definite pronouncement from the State Independent Electoral Commission, which will now validate whosoever that emerged out of the process. And of course, beyond the results, the electorate have ab initio stated that this time around they want to see change in terms of leadership, in terms of governance, at a time that a substantial amount of money that is funds are being allocated to the various states and local government councils. Many of the electorate who participated in this election want to see changes in terms of the quality of leadership and in terms of project implementation at the grassroots level. These are the expectations from the electorate who actually came out for the yesterday, August 30, 2025 local council elections across parts of Rivers State.
Thank you, Kingsley, for that update. We'll still get back to you later in the day. Moving on now, in a significant political shift, hundreds of supporters from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in Yaba West local government area have defected to the All Progressives Congress, marking what many have described as the end of opposition politics in the area. Speaking on behalf of the new APC members, Chief Abayomi Ojo expressed their reasons for the mass defection, citing the outstanding performance of the governor, His Excellency Ahmed Usman Ododo. Addressing the campees, Tosin Olukon, chairman of Yaba West LGA and Kogi State Algon, expressed his gratitude to the new members for choosing the APC, reaffirming that the governor was fully supportive of their decision. This mass defection is seen as a major boost for the APC in Kogi State, signaling the growing strength of the ruling party as the 2027 elections approach. The event was graced by party leaders as well as elected and appointed government officials at all levels. Nigeria and Singapore have stepped up to bolster economic relations with the activation of their bilateral investment treaty and investment promotion and protection agreement. The agreement, which came into force on August 22nd, establishes a legal framework to safeguard investments and boost cooperation in infrastructure, technology, and sustainable development. The move was confirmed by Nigeria's Foreign Minister Yusuf Tuga when he participated in the 5th Singapore African Ministerial Exchange visit in Singapore. The engagement underscores Nigeria's commitment to leveraging international partnerships for economic growth and development. The minister, in a statement, highlighted that the trade volume between Singapore and Africa has surged by over 50%, reaching $18.7 billion. Yusuf Tuga noted that the forum focused on providing a legal framework to safeguard investments. Tuga also stated that he held discussions with Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong and Minister Grace Fu, emphasizing Nigeria's role as a hub for investment and regional stability. The Ministry of Women Affairs has launched an empowerment program, Women Agro Value Expansion Initiative, aimed at expanding the scope of women farmers in the nation's agro value chain. Ngozi Technical reports that the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, represented by the wife of the Vice President, Nana Shatima, emphasized the critical role of women in the federal government food security agenda.
The First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, represented by the wife of the Vice President, Nana Kashim Shettima, acknowledged the enormous potential of women in the agricultural value chain. She noted that equipping women with modern agricultural techniques will translate to abundant food, given that women make up 70% of the workforce in the nation's agricultural sector.
Nigeria is blessed with abundant land and natural resources. And we must utilize these blessings to ensure food security for all our citizens. I applaud the recent ban on the exportation of shea butter nuts by Mr. President, as this directly impacts our women, who make up the 95% of pickers and local processors.
The Minister of Women Affairs explained that based on the farming methods and approaches the women were exposed to, the program will indeed be a game changer in boosting food production.
It's designed to address the systematic barriers that women face in the agro space so that they're not just participating, but they're actually making a lot of money. That is Mr. President's goal. In doing so, in ensuring that women are economically empowered, we can address our social, political, and economic challenges that we face as women in Nigeria.
It empowers them with access to finance, modern technology, training, markets, and enabling them to move beyond production to process it.
We are going to cascade this training knowledge we have learned here to our community. We came here, we unlearn, we relearn, and learn, so that we have now dropped all the olden modern ways of farming. We have now picked the modern one.
The women were trained on greenhouse farming, preservation, processing, and marketing, and would be closely monitored after empowerment to ensure success. In Abuja, Ngozi Teknikio, NTA News.
The Ministry of Interior retreat at Zuma Rock Resort has ended with the minister and heads of agencies putting into paper sealing performance contracts for the year ahead. Victor Azo reports that the handshake accompanying each signature signals both trust and expectation.
And the stock taking gives way to signatures. Performance contracts now inked into obligation. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo called it accountability in action. His tone was firm but grateful. Progress has been made, he says, but in the year ahead, the bar is higher. And to the Federal Fire Service, with the Controller General barely 2 weeks in office, the charge was pointed. Leadership will be measured by the blazes fought and the lives saved.
I want to see a fire service that will be able to regulate and be able to enumerate the sector. And I want to see a fire service that will be judged by the number of assets saved. And I want to see a fire service that is more vibrant and will be a major employer of labor.
Asked what Nigerians can expect, the paramilitary chiefs pledged that Nigerians will see and feel the difference in safety, security, and reform.
We are going to see a lot of improvements. I want to reel out our details, operational, strategies.
We have to go back and sit down and see how we can strengthen mechanisms that will make us begin to perform and give value to our jobs.
By the next retreat, definitely there will be positive impact, and Nigerians will know that there is a new fire service in place.
From the shadow of Zuma Rock, the Ministry of Interior must now turn symbolism into service, proving that strength lies not in words, but in results that touch everyday Nigerian lives. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu sends warm felicitations to the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka, on his 73rd birthday, August 31st, 2025. The President, in a statement, joins the Catholic family and body of Christ to celebrate the highly revered priests whose compassion for the poor and underprivileged continues to influence people-centered development policies in Nigeria and Africa. President Tinubu highlights the priest's sacrifice in balancing his spiritual and intellectual works with practical guides on how democracy can impact development and good governance worldwide. He says Bishop Kuka served as a member of Nigeria's Truth Commission, Secretary of the Political Reform Conference, member of Nigeria's Electoral Reform Committee, and worked assiduously to promote harmonious relationships between Christians and Muslims as chairman of Nigeria's Interreligious Dialogue. The President hopes his tireless advocacy for justice, democracy, and human development will remain an irreplaceable treasure. We will take a short break now. More reports when we return.
Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African road.
Welcome back. At a recent summit organized by the Life Camp Youth Association, young voices took center stage in shaping the future of their communities. The event served as a platform for discussing leadership in governance, business, and community initiatives, with a strong focus on tackling the growing issue of drug abuse among Nigerian youth. Dennis Temple reports.
Part of our organization's focus and objective in reigniting honor in leadership and empowering the future minds.
Participants at the summit did not just talk, they dove into brainstorming practical and actionable solutions to address the alarming rise in drug dependency. What stood out was the clear call for more youth involvement, pushing for a real change in society. The discussions were not just about talking the talk, but they are walking the walk to lead by example and inspire positive change within communities.
In a sustainable economy, ethical leadership, accountability, discipline, and compassion are essential.
Any youth that gets his or herself involved in drugs could have a psychological consequences. It could affect whatever thing that youth want to do.
With the theme, the role and impact of traditional rulers, religious clerics, women and youths in building a sustainable economy, the summit moved beyond just rhetorics.
Drug abuse is a very big issue in Nigeria today, and Life Camp is not excluded.
It's good to engage the youth, to put them on positive track. You know, a whole lot of youths are going astray.
But what we're trying to do is this, trying to create a room which we would get them engaged, enlighten them, sensitize them, because you can't actually eliminate drug abuse by force.
I think these few ideas and these few moments I actually stayed here, I actually got this pretty good idea.
The highlight was the panel session where many participants were encouraged to gain confidence and turn their ideas into action in their local areas. In Abuja, Dennis Temple, NTN News.
The National Orientation Agency NOA FCT chapter has commenced campaign on national reorientation in 5 thematic areas. The director of the agency in the FCT, Acharu Opalwa, is leading the campaign through the major streets in the city center of Abuja. The march persuading students and other youth to take advantage of the NEL Fund scheme and other government policies towards improving education, youth development, and job creation nationwide. At the marketplace, they spoke in different Nigerian languages, urging citizens to be aware of their environment and imbibe the culture of security consciousness, as well as internalizing national values and getting the correct and required information regarding disaster preparedness, especially on flood mitigation.
Both extreme sign-out practice in schools.
Also discourage the attitude of unnecessary spending during students' graduation ceremonies and other irrelevant activities going on in schools is part of reasons for the campaign. Other areas the sensitization is highlighting include the need for citizens to understand the values attached to the national identities and symbols in order to accord them the required respect. As Nigerians chart pathways to the rising challenges of waste management, stakeholders in waste and scrap sectors have unveiled a renewed commitment to turn waste into wealth. Stephen Luna Wokolo reports that with heaps of waste clogging streets, drains, and landfills, recyclers now see opportunity where many see only wastes.
Nigeria generates over 32 million tons of waste each year, with Lagos contributing more than 13,000 tons daily. But only a fraction is properly collected. The rest clog drains, pollutes water, or is burnt in the open. Now, recycling industries working with stakeholders are showing that waste can be more than just a problem. It can be a resource. The newly elected national president of North Sweden, who will pilot the affairs of the union with 13 other elected officers for the next 4 years, says waste management is already creating jobs, from collectors to processors, and with more training and investment, the sector could grow even bigger.
The union are passing through challenges, especially in the local states, where some of our members are being humiliated. These are some of the things I am going to climb down to make sure our members in the various states of the Federation will easily load their scrap to end-user company without spending money on illegal taxation on the highway.
We have one goal: taking people from poverty, creating jobs.
With the right commitment, stakeholders believe Nigeria can turn waste into wealth and even lead Africa in recycling innovation. In Onitsha, Steve Lonai Nwaokolo, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our top stories. Rivers State Electoral Body receives local government election results from most councils. Federal government launches Women Agro-Value Expansion Initiative to expand scope of women farmers in agro-value chain.
Nigeria is blessed with abundant land and natural resources, and we must utilize these blessings.
Nigeria and Singapore strengthen bilateral ties for sustainable development.
This is NTA News 24.
Nigeria is currently experiencing the peak of the 2025 rainy season, with cases of flooding on the rise. 9 states have been placed on alert due to anticipated heavy rainfall. Let's join Musa Babaliu for more details.
The sky and earth share a clear understanding. Nature has designed it so that when the sky releases rain, the earth absorbs most of it. However, when the downpour exceeds what the earth can absorb, flooding occurs. Investigations reveal that the amount of rainfall recorded across the country so far exceeded the earlier predictions by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET. Currently, 25 states have experienced devastating floods affecting 272,890 people, with 230 lives lost. In the coming days, 9 states, mostly in the north, have been put on high alert. States listed include Sokoto and Zamfara, with Makera and Anka towns specifically flagged. High-risk locations also include Gwaram in Jigawa, Nafada in Gombe, Ingala in Borno, Sumaila in Kano, and Azari and Jama'ari in Bauchi State. In Adamawa, Mubi, Sheleng, and Abakumo were named, while Kaita, Bindawa, and Katsina Town were listed for Katsina. Adamawa and Taraba State have already recorded a devastating flood this Thursday, which resulted in the destruction of farmlands. Areas affected by the flooding in Taraba State include parts of Lau, Karimulamido, Gasol, and Ardo local government areas. Rice and maize farms, most of whom are located close to River Benue, were destroyed, while many houses in villages along the River Benue bank were also submerged. Yobe State also recorded a devastating flood in Patiskun, where more than 500 houses were damaged. Adamu Mohammed is one of the 600 victims of the flood. He said he has never experienced a flood of such magnitude. The Ministry of Environment issued a warning that with water level rising in the River Niger, communities along the floodplain from Jaba in Niger State to Lokoja in Kogi State should prepare for possible evacuation. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adewenga Oyetola commiserates with the victims and families of the recent boat accident in Shagari local government area of Sokoto State. The minister in a statement describes the tragedy as deeply painful and extends heartfelt condolences on behalf of the federal government to all those affected. He reaffirmed the commitment of the federal government to prioritizing waterways safety while appealing to state governments to urgently complement this effort by investing in modern, not wooden boats for commercial operations in their states. The minister noted that despite the ministry's recent interventions, including the nationwide distribution of 3,500 life jackets to each riverine state, the country continues to lose lives largely due to the widespread use of wooden boats. Oyetola stresses that fiber and aluminium boats, being sturdier, safer, and more durable, represents the global standard for inland and coastal waterway transports. And that's the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Vivian Ezadefi. Do remember to join us again at 11 for the news update.